Okay. All right. So full moon. So full moon is always when the sun and moon are in an opposition. So we can see right here, moon and sun opposition. A full moon in Virgo happens once a year, so we do get this occasion happen every year. However, it will always be happening at a different degree. So in a different area in your chart. Same area of your life possibly, but depending on if you're using whole sign or Placidus, and I use Placidus, then if you're using Placidus, then it could be in a different area of your life. So for this chart, for example, you can see that up here in the 11th house, the moon is, say it was at 21 degrees or after 21 degrees, it would then potentially be, it would be in the 12th house, even though it's still in Virgo. So that is Placidus when the houses are aligning with the way they are in the sky and not necessarily just using whole sign, which is just rounding it off basically. Placidus is a lot more accurate. So full moon is a release point. So it's full moon is like why they say, the werewolves are out and stuff like that, or the wolves are out and there's people go crazy. I think they say like the highest rates of um people being put in mental institutions and stuff like that, or institutions and stuff, or even hospitals and that, I think, is like full moons. When there's a full moon basically. And when people go a bit crazy or more loopy or something, they say. So the full moon is a release point, so that's why I can feel like so intense, and because it's all that energy from the new moon we previously had 2 weeks ago has built up into this point where it's a ending, a celebration, a completion, finalization, and the it's also a build up though from 6 months prior when we had the new moon in Virgo, so that would have been in Virgo season September last year. We had the new moon in Virgo. I can't remember what degree it was at, but that was planting seeds, setting new intentions, new beginnings, refresh, restart, new opportunities over the next 6 months. So it was seeding, like a 2-week growing period. And then, 6-month period of like flourishing basically. And then the ending and completion, the celebration point, which is now just that full moon 6 months later. And it's at 5 degrees of Virgo. So wherever 5 degrees of Virgo in your chart is where the full moon is, where you're going to have a release, where you need to let go of something. It's an ending, completion, end of a cycle. So it's the end of a cycle for something for you. And it's the moon involved. The moon is our emotions, it's our feelings, it's our internal self, it's our what makes us feel safe and comfortable, it's our intuition. So all of that basically, it's our motherly self and how we mother ourselves. The moon, it represents the mother, represents the queen, so it's the feminine energy, and it's so it's all about those things coming to a completion, culmination point in a certain area of your life. So those things are those certain area of life is affecting that those moon things, those feelings and stuff like that, basically emotions. So the sun is that release point. So we're looking at that opposition. So you look at the sun over here in Pisces, because we're in Pisces season. The sun is moving through the signs every 30 days, changing signs. Currently at 5 degrees of Pisces, we've just moved in Pisces. So if you're born during, my natal moon is 15 degrees of Virgo. Okay, so it's like 10 degrees away. So it's not going to give you I wouldn't say looking at a 10-degree difference that it will affect you like exactly hugely, but it may have you may have more intense feelings around it because than someone else possibly because it is close, but especially with a fast moving planet or a luminary like the moon, I would only give 3 degrees. You can go 5, maybe 6 if you want, but I think 3 max because like the sun and the moon are such fast moving planets. When you've got something else like outer planet, something like that, they can give more like 6 degrees, I'd say 5 to 6 degrees. I still like to work more within 5 because you get more precision and more better timing when you're more accurate with, when exactly things are happening. So, yeah, so you may still feel it, but then there might be something else in your chart too that is around 15 degrees of another of one of the mutable signs. So then you'll be feeling it even more intensely, or it could be one of the earth signs. So then it's more of a positive feeling too, emotionally uplifting feeling. If you've got a trine there, or a sextile as well. It's a 10-degree orb. Is that the word? Yeah, 10-degree orb. So orb is the range, basically. Yeah. Hmm. So it's like my rising is 27 degrees Virgo, so it's nowhere near. I wouldn't say that this is going to affect me personally in a rising sense in any way, affecting my rising sign or whatever. And even like my sun is a 23-degree Taurus sun, so it's nowhere even going to try and close to that. So I wouldn't even say that's something. So for me personally, this full moon isn't hitting on those. It could be hitting on other things in my chart. I haven't exactly looked. I'm trying to think what I've got at low. I have quite a lot of signs higher degrees, not a lot lower degrees. I have Pluto at 8 degrees in Scorpio, so yeah. But that's not going to be creating a sextile anyway. So yeah. So the sun is the release point. So the sun down in Pisces. So sun in Pisces is all about us becoming more compassionate. So feeling more compassionate and also being more like the sun in Pisces is like our creative expression through like our higher self, or through like us like channeling, us being creative through channeling or creating beautiful projects or something like that. That Pisces energy is very imaginative. It's unrealistic in a way. It's rose tinted glasses. It's seeing things, like seeing the beauty in things. It's also, where we can dream and we can have fantasies and we can fantasize and stuff like that. It's where we can let go, because it's a ending sort of sign. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It's a completion and ending as well. It's where it can represent loss as well. So it can represent, where we lose ourselves, especially if it's like a 12th house energy we're talking about with Pisces. It's like where we can lose ourselves, where we can self-sabotage ourselves and stuff like that. But when we're looking at the sun being that across from that full moon there, it's that opposition. Then we're looking for that release point. So that Virgo energy is all about getting things done. My rising is 0 degrees Leo. Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's, oh wow, you're a 0 degree Leo. That's pretty crazy if you are. Anytime you're a 29 degree or a 0 degree of any sign, it's the most intense in that sign, and it's really quite crazy. It's not a bad thing, it's just a very intense. So when you're at the 29th, that last 10 degrees, the third decan of a sign, then you're getting into that master energy. And when you're at that 29 degrees, you are the master, but you have absorbed so much of that energy and got so high that you can then sort of start to do the opposite of the things that you know and what you're supposed to do as well, because it becomes so intense with having too much knowledge and information in the sense of that sign. And then there's the 0 degree, which is the baby of the sign. It's where you're just learning. You're just learning about that sign, and it's just, it's new and fresh to you. It's like the Aries sort of degree of that sign. In that first decan, it's new, it's fresh, you're learning it, you're exploring it. It's a new energy, basically. I was just saying that because you were talking about lower degree placements. Yeah, so, but 5, hang on, what am I looking at? Yeah, so 5 degree Leo. It's only within 30 degrees, so it's a semi-sextile, so it's not as big of a aspect, that's all. But yeah, it's still relevant. It's still a semi-sextile, but it's not as strong, especially because, like I said, we're better off working with like a 3 degree orb too, especially if we're working with something that's a lesser intense aspect as well, I would say. So Yeah, so that Virgo moon. So Virgo is all about 35 degrees. Yeah. So Virgo is all about getting things done. It's all about being of service. So that's the sign of being of service. Virgo is a doer. They like to write lists and complete things. It's a sign of intellectual too. They're very intellectual. It's all about the mind um and it's a sign that can be like, overthinking and stuff like that. So when we've got the moon in Virgo, it's very much where we can be monkey mind. So it's very much a sign of like the monkey mind where we overthink, where we're just in our head and stuff like that. And that's where we can then the opposite, which is when that's so whenever we have any sign, we have to look at both energies of that sign and the opposite, because that's the duality of the signs and how they come together. Their energies are connected. And so there's usually like the energy of the sign, and then the opposite is the sort of shadow side of it. So if we're looking at like this more shadow side of like Pisces, where the sun is, it's like where we can become too, lost in fantasy and stuff like that, and not planted in reality. Which planet rules Virgo? Gemini. So not Gemini, Mercury. Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini. Hey, Skate Punk, how are you? Nice to see you. I haven't been around for like 10 days. I've been sick. I've got the bloody flu. But yeah, I'm better now. I hope you're well. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing locks and stuff. Building flowers. But yeah, if anyone wants a reading too, I will look at your chart and see where it is for you. So I've got your chart here somewhere, Skate Punk too. If you want a reading, Skate Punk. I'm feeling better. I'm like heaps better now. Like I was like it was hanging on a bit, and then Thursday, Friday I just like got better and got over it pretty much. So yeah, it's good now. Oh, someone wants out. Hang on. Someone wants out of the garage. God. Gosh, she's barged a mile away. Are you coming or not? Come on. Silly butts. Okay. Overindulgence in our emotional, I would say, the negative of Pisces. Yeah, and depression. So it's like we get lost and you self-sabotage and depression, and Pisces is a sign of like drugs and alcohol, and where you lose yourself, so you disconnect. Yeah. So and disillusional, and rose tinted glasses. So seeing things as being much better than what they are, not being grounded in reality, basically. Yeah, I was sick, but I'm better now. How are the babies? Yeah, good. Honey seems to be something's wrong with Honey. She's had a bit of diarrhea. Sorry to say that, but a bit of runny poo the last few days. So I don't know what's up with her, but she's been really affectionate the last few days too. So I don't know. And Yoda's okay. He's getting around all right. He still needs help. But yeah, so they're okay. I mean, they just had their birthdays. Two of them, like Honey and Yosh. So they're two of them are 12 and two of them are 11. Yoda and Ginge, and Honey and Yosh. Honey and Yosh just had their 12th birthday. And Yoda and Ginge had their 11th like a month before anyway. So they're getting old now. Like cats can live to like 20, but yeah, they are getting older. And Persians are like known to have like health issues and stuff like that. So yeah. I'm gonna go to sleep, but be up a bit longer if you both gonna stream again. Have you on PS5? Oh. All right, take care, Jake. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for hanging out as always. Cats. Yeah, babies are cats. They're my babies. Aquarius babies. Yeah, they're Aquarius babies. They all are 4 Aquarius babies. Crazy, hey? Like, but it's funny because my 5th house is Aquarius, and that's your children. And also my 6th house, if you're looking at the cusp, is Aquarius. The 6th house, which is your pets, is is Aquarius. So looking at it from Placidus' point of view, whole sign, then it's, my 6th house is Aquarius, but it actually starts in my 5th house. My 5th house cusp starts at the end of Capricorn. So like 27 degrees Capricorn or something like that. And then, follows on. Jen, stop eating that. Oh my gosh. He keeps chewing on these bloody nappies my mum has for my niece. He likes to eat plastic whenever he's like shitty, he doesn't get what he wants. So he's like chewing on a nappy packet. Damn. Like open nappies and get like cat chew holes in them. Gosh. We're cat 16 now. Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I got upset when I realized I was 12 the other day. So, yeah, 16's old. But I hope cats lived a good life, though. You've had lots of time with it, so that's nice as well. That's amazing. Funny. Which sign is Feb 8th? That's my cat's birthday. Feb 8th, that's Aquarius. So, it's from like 18th of January or something like that. I think it is. Was it 21st? One of them starts a bit earlier. Jen, stop eating that plastic. Now he's eating plastic on a box. Oh my God. I need to throw some. Jen, stop it. I've got a comb here. Stop eating that. He's just stared at the comb, went next to him and he just stared at it. He's like, Jen, stop it. Oh gosh. These cats. Crazy, but honestly, absolutely crazy sometimes. Yeah. So, they are all friggin' stubborn. That's what I say. And I think I looked up. Yeah, I looked up their moon too. And Yosh and Honey must be Tauruses. So Aquarius and Taurus, they're both big signs. They are both friggin' stubborn. And Yosh will just sit there sometimes and just be so stubborn, not move. You like can push him and shove him and he will not move. He's just like, no, until I get what I want, I'm not moving. And it's like, what the hell? Oh, so funny. But yeah, and I always like say, I reckon cats are aliens. They're so different to other animals. Like they're, the way they like to stare at nothing and they like sense shit and they're like they heal you and stuff like that. Like it's pretty crazy. So I always say that they're like aliens. They must be like another planet or something. So it's funny that they're in the sign of Aquarius because Aquarius is the sign of aliens. Yeah, I know. So cute. So funny. Ah, cheeky butts. You love what, the cats or Aquarius is? I do like Aquarius though. I've always gotten along well with Aquarius. Saying that actually. Yeah, I've always gotten along with Aquarius actually, even though we're like our suns, are squaring because I'm Taurus sun, but yeah. Both. Both. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Skate Punk. You're biased though, Skate Punk. I've never heard that about aliens. Yeah. So if you're a genuine Aquarius and you understand probably a bit of astrology and someone said you're an alien, you'd probably be like, yeah, I am. Because it's just the sign of Aquarius. Aquariuses are like out there, they're different. They do not in the same wavelength as everybody else. It's a sign of frequency. They're on their own frequency, basically. So it's not a bad thing at all. They're, if you look at Aquarius and Pisces, both of their signs, and even if you look at just the last 3 signs, so if we're looking at Capricorn, Pisces, and Aquarius, the last 3 signs of the zodiac, they're on a complete different wavelength. They're in that last quarter of the zodiac. They're the end. They're where we've like gone through the whole zodiac. We've come to the end. We're old. They're the old signs, Capricorn's old and traditional, and then you got Aquarius, which is even ruled by Saturn, which is old and traditional as well. And then we got Pisces, which is the end sign of endings, loss, the end basically. the finish. It's the last sign. So anytime you're having those, especially the last two, that Pisces and Aquarius, you're having signs in those. It's they're they're not the same as the other signs in the chart. They're way more accelerated. They're more evolved. They're more evolved signs, basically. So I don't actually have any Aquarius or Pisces in my chart signs, anything in it really. So I'm not as evolved as someone who has Pisces and Aquarius, possibly. But they are more evolved signs, basically. So they may find it harder to relate with other people who aren't those signs because they're on a different frequency, basically. Pisces is in another world, basically, and then Aquarius is from another world. So there you go. Pisces is in another world, and Aquarius is from another world. So yeah. That side is Giblet over there. Yeah. He's a double Aquarius. Aquarius rising, Aquarius sun. So, and there's like Aquarius cats everywhere. So yeah, so we also have Mercury there with that. So I was just saying the release point. So we're looking for release. So the sun in Pisces is that release. So from the overthinking, from the Virgo of overdoing, feeling like we've got to achieve and do so much to get things done, being the nitpicker, being perfectionist, being like trying to perfect everything and trying to tell everyone what to do and how to get things done the best way and all that sort of stuff. And trying to help everyone and be of service and all that, like the overdoing and all that of Virgo, and the over emotional emotions that come involved with that, and the feelings of how do we feel emotionally content, how do we get emotional contentment is the moon, and in Virgo it's by doing all those things. So how do we not be overly emotional with all those things? How do we get past that with that release from the sun? So that is where we look at the sun in Pisces, and the sun in Pisces is through meditation, through spiritual practices, through connecting with your higher self, through doing things that are creative and artistic, that are about that you can find beauty in and stuff like that, that you can have that can create dreams, and you can go off and have like nice, happy, beautiful fantasies that like help you to disconnect from the doing and the heavy grind of Virgo, and let you to connect with the ethereal, the other realms, and to so it's like even just playing video games. Like this is a good release, playing video games from that really tense emotions of Moon and Virgo. So playing video games for that release. What I think would be entertaining? A breakdown of Andrew Tate's natal chart. Actually, I think someone, if you go on YouTube and have a look, someone would have done it. I've seen people talk about it before a while ago, but yeah, there'd be definitely someone on YouTube who's already done it for sure. Yeah, so so Pisces is what else can we say about Pisces? I guess like during a full moon you wouldn't want to go into the more negative side. It's the release point, but it's like don't use the release to do too much drugs and too much alcohol and get lost in things and get overwhelmed and self-sabotage, or do things that or lose your mind. That's like very much a Pisces thing, where you then result to ending up in like psych ward or having mental issues, or needing to go to a hospital because some things happen. 12th house represents institutions, so when we're talking about Pisces energy too, we're talking about things that lead to those things. That Pisces energy leads to the 12th house institutions and stuff like that, and self-sabotage and all those sorts of like behaviors. Pardon me, sorry. Yeah, so let me double check. Yeah, everything's still working. Cool. So I think it's about bringing dreams into reality as well, understanding the method of what goes into making it possible. Yeah, so then you could look at it too as though we're looking at both energies because it's, you know, that's what's creating the full moon and that completion, ending, celebration, or finalization or whatever could be of, um, what you've been putting all the hard work and energy into and doing the Virgo stuff or planning and making the list and planning things out and doing all the stuff, and then putting the dreams into reality and like being able to visualize and see those things that you planned and um, you know, what the from the physical actions, then being able to see it visualize and happen. So it's like putting in that hard work and then being able to see it manifest because that is a sign of manifestation too. That's energy. So being able to see it, visualize, manifest, come to reality, all those things. Thank you. Whoa, that's really tall. Whoa. Wow, that's really big. Jake, if you're around to see this mug, actually you've probably already seen it. Seen a blue version of it. Oh god, this is really big. Like really, really big. Oh my god. Dotting the I's and crossing the T's. Yeah. That looks lush. I need one in my life. BRB. um so so I was gonna say, so Mercury is there with the full moon. So anytime Mercury is um involved, so Mercury's communication, thinking, the mind, our thought processes, talking, speaking, writing, those sorts of things can represent like media as well. Um, contracts. So it's an opposition node to that moon. So we're having some maybe tense conversations, hearing some things from people, or having some maybe conflicting thoughts about people or about others or about situations or something like that. And that's where again, like where we can come in with again that overthinking, that overactive mind. Um, Mercury and Pisces is like we can get lost. We can go off with the fairies, which is great, but then we can get lost too, where we don't come back and ground in reality. But it's good for dreaming and for visualization and for connecting with our higher selves and all those things. That's why we need all the energies in balance. So the um the combo of that Sun and Mercury is like Mercury and the Sun are best friends. So Mercury and the Sun Mercury's meeting up the Sun to have a conversation. It's the Sun's what lights us up, what makes us happy. It's our vitality, it's our energy, it's what we are a part of our life purpose as well. So Mercury and the Sun coming together, it's like a conversation about those things, a conversation about what we want, conversation about our dreams, our desires, about um, it could be us again. So it's like our minds being able to be creative, our minds being able to visualize and to like dream and to come up with like these other um, come up with good ideas that are like channeled and come from like somewhere else or from our intuition or a higher self. So it's really good for that moon causing that intensity, that opposition is, where we can get too stuck in the details, like you said earlier, like that sort of thing. Getting too stuck in the details with that moon in that overactive opposite sign. Oh, this is really big. I usually only fill it like 3/4. Funny. Okay. So, pardon me. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So, the Mercury and the Sun. They're coming together. It's the best friends coming together, have a conversation. It's something that's like joyful and happy and positive, and enlightening, and that makes us happy and lights us up. It's a good combo, those two coming together. It's just we have to make sure we don't have that intensity of the moon overtaking it. But the moon will move on. The moon, is changing signs every 2 to 2.5 days. So, within 24 hours, the moon will be gone and away from that opposition. And those two will be hanging out together, getting closer, coming up to their conjunction in a few days. And that energy then we'll see, we've gotten past. So it's like bringing up the emotions of our wants and our needs and what we really desire, and what we want in reality, so that when those two come together, we can manifest that or have some really breakthrough ideas or things like that come through. Some really great ideas or some good conversations or thoughts or some kind of like positive contracts or agreements or something like that that could come to fruition or um, um, us yeah, us having some kind of like really good like speaking or communication or writing opportunities too. It's like that could be a time when you like are able to like smash out a book or writing something or just write something really like positive and like uplifting or something that's really connected and like is of a spiritual nature or is like that is of fantasy like or something like that too. Poets. Pisces is very much a sign of like poetry, so it's really good for like poetry and poets and stuff like that too. That energy, especially when we got even that opposition. Like it'd be really this opposition, this full moon is really good for like poets to like write some really good emotional content. Basically. Oh, it's 10:44. Let me 5:10 check the chart again. I animate before. Let me check. Yeah, I've just reanimated it. So, quick cut here on my chin attacking me. 5:10, 5:20. What are we? 10:35, 10:44. Let me change the time on this. Oh, I don't have my bloody. Hang on. Let me go forward minutes. I don't have my keyboard. Keep getting 10:44 or 10:45. 5:15, 5:22. Okay, so not quite yet. So the full moon has not happened yet. 5:15. So the moon's currently at 5 degrees and 15 minutes. We want to get to the sun at 5 degrees and 22 minutes. So if we move the chart forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 9. I think I flipped it right. Might not have flipped on it properly. Yeah, some of those clicks. Now it's gone to 23 degrees. Okay. So 5 degrees, 23 minutes, which is at, wow, exactly 11 p.m. So in 15 minutes is the full moon. I thought it was at 10:30. Oh, AC. Oh, wait, hang on. We're looking at Adelaide time. Let me. Give me a sec. Oh, no, I can't fix it. Okay. I don't know what the time difference is. I thought it was at 10:30. I feel like it had already happened, but let me just reopen the chart. 5:10. No, it must be in. Oh, it must be same time. We must have. Oh, no, in Adelaide, it's 10:30. 10:46. 10:35. I don't know. I can't change it unless I go around to my computer. Anyway. Redraw. There we go. If we redraw. Adelaide can't be like just 15 minutes behind me, surely. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, we're having the full moon any moment. Hang on, let me look on this. Let me look on my tablet or on my phone. That might help. Where it's set to the right time zone. Mm. All right, so we are 5:30. Oh, we are past it. It was 10:30. I knew that. Why is this? Oh, because it's going by space by play. I don't know. Anyway, nothing changes by what I said anyway. But yeah, so we've had that full moon about 15 minutes ago. So we're at the most intense, and now the moon will start to shrink and at its most intense, the build up, or it's at its brightest. And over the next 2 weeks, it'll start to shrink, and that's why it's a release, a letting go, an ending, completion, celebration, because the moon is finishing its cycle and it's getting smaller and less bright and going back to new moon status. So as it wanes, that's where over the next 2 weeks, from this full moon, what comes up for us, we release, we let go, we release and let go of, we release and let go, we end, finalize. See the completion of.